Hello, friend. Welcome. In this video, we're going to go over the licensing timeline expectations in Florida. I'm also going to go over some strategies that you can implement to help you get licensed sooner and the misconception that people have when getting into the business and how doing the wrong thing in the wrong order can delay your licensing process. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Carlene Cadet Francois. I help busy professionals convert buildings into thriving assisted living businesses throughout the state of Florida. On a daily basis, I speak with people who are doing everything they can to open their assisted living businesses. And what I've learned is over and over, I've learned that this process can be very confusing. It's not because you are doing something wrong or you are not able to figure this thing out. This has nothing to do with how smart you are or how smart you aren't. It's not personal. It's just if you're doing the wrong things in the wrong step, in the wrong order, it's like everything else. Everybody have their areas of expertise or their strength and weaknesses. And the smartest thing someone can do is to hire help. Honestly, it doesn't have to be me. Quite frequently, I'm only able to accept a certain number of clients per month anyway. But if you can find the right community to be in or the right person to help you, it is so much less expensive. And I'll explain. I talk to people that tell me, I've been in a process for a year. I've been in a process for 2 years. I've been in a process for 3 years. I've been in a process for so long, I can't even think. Literally, these are things that people have said to me. And just when someone thought they got it, they'll talk to me. And oftentimes I feel so bad because I feel like I am like a party pooper. I'm giving bad news when the person is so excited. And that's always hard for me to do, but I carry the burden of responsibility and making sure that I tell them what's necessary because that's what they called me for. And one person, for example, I spoke with, they appear that they have done everything correctly and now they're worried about submitting the application to ACA, but they miss one very important step. They miss the change of use process, and that one takes a while. And could you imagine, like, one phone call, they scheduled a one-on-one consultation with me. It's on my website and it's very cheap. You can do that. And they found that they missed a very important piece of the puzzle. And as we know, when you submit your ACA application process for your initial licensing, you will have 21 days. That's 21 days, including weekends, to respond to whatever deficiencies that your application has. And if one of your deficiencies is a change of use or anything that deals with the emergency management division and even the health department division, some things just take longer in process to even get those things done and that information to submit to ACA. So people risk losing their application money, and you can see how this can be stressful. So timeline is very person specific. So your timeline with a mentor is different. That can take anywhere from 6 to 8 months. And even that based on how fast your contractors move, because your mentors will work with contractors to get things done. So making sure that you and your mentors are on top of the entire process overall, even the contractors that don't necessarily have any relationship with your consultant or your mentor need to work together to keep your process moving. So timelines are different. If you work with a mentor, it's 6 to 8 months, but sometimes it even takes a year because depending on what is going on with your structure, let's say, for example, you bought a building that need a lot of construction, a lot of work. Even with a mentor, your process will take time because those permits have to be satisfied before certain things are able to get done even with a mentor. So when establishing a timeline, you have to also consider, is your building required a lot of construction for a construction permit to be pulled, a renovation permit to be pulled? Because those things will have to play a factor before you even begin to install the things that you need to install for the business structure itself. And I know I've also had clients that purchase a building that needs a lot of work because, it was cheaper to buy. But at the end, they end up spending more money because if you think about it, while you are doing all those heavy renovations, while you are not even able to have a tenant in that building, you are paying the mortgage and you are not making money. All of those things are expensive. And while you're doing all of that, you are also paying for things. So when establishing whether it's worth getting a building that don't need so much work versus a building that don't need so much work, there's no right and wrong, but education help you to make a decision that is right for you, for your specific situation. I've also been exposed to people who have the right building and the right strategy, whether it's a turnkey building, everything is in place, and they are doing everything by themselves. They don't have a mentor, and it end up taking them years. I've also been exposed to people who hire the wrong contractors to do their installations, and they have to exit those relationships in order to keep their process moving. So there are different hats to establish how long it takes. In the ideal scenario, you bought a property that is part of your strategy. Let's say, for example, you bought a property that didn't require too much work, and your main focus is your installation for your business and also the ADA compliancy. You hired the right mentor to help you. You can take 6 to 8 months to become licensed. You also hired the right contractors who's not going to ghost you, who's not going to lie to you and pretend they submitted paperwork they never submitted. Your process doesn't have to take long, but you can see how your process can take long if you are not making the right decisions. Not to scare you, but to tell you so that you know how to make the right decisions for yourself, okay? So you can see how the timeline can differ from person to person, from situation to situation. But I think by this point, you'll have an idea of, if you want to get licensed as soon as possible, what you should and should not be doing. Let me know if that quick. The most common delays: lack of preparation. We also have people who get into the business, they bought the building, but they don't know that they can rent the building and actually have a tenant living in the building while they are converting the building into the ALF business. And also, people get stuck for lack of funds, and they don't have the proper education to find out how they can get loans, how they can joint venture, sometimes even with family members. I have several videos on this. Even on the podcast, I have education on this. So you'll find some of those strategies. At my ALF Caregivers Conference, I always have a funding panels with several different financial professionals that will educate you on how you can find monies to be able to put into your business. And it doesn't have to be money that comes out of your pocket all of the time. And being educated goes a long way. And also start thinking about marketing even before you're open, because your mindset is going to be different when you can already think about bringing in residents and what you need to do to bring them while you are in the process. Talking about building muscle memory. Aside from that is hiring the wrong contractors, because your contractor play a huge difference into how fast this process moves. Your contractor for your renovations, your contractor for your fire alarm, sprinkler, generator, all of those systems that you have to install, all of these people play a factor into how fast your process moves. So hire people that you know about that are recommended, that go online, research them, their phone numbers, the name of their business. Do your best to find out that if you should or should not use these people, even if they were recommended. Because you know, some people can start right and then somewhere in the middle, they go wrong. So you want to make sure you're doing your research to make sure that you have the right people in your team. How to shorten that process? Shorten that process is education, making sure that you're in the right environment. We do host the ALF Caregivers Conference. It's an annual event, normally happens in January. And we bring you all of the resources you need. You can literally attend one conference and walk away with every pillar elements that you need to solve to be able to have the proper resources to open your business. Make decisions. Once you find out what you need to do, make the decision to do it. You have what you need to do, you have the education, you have the community, the network, and you know what you're supposed to do. Don't get stuck in that lack of decision loop, because just because you didn't make a decision doesn't mean you didn't make a decision. Until you're open and you start bringing in residents, you're not bringing in revenue. Always keep that forefront, because at the end of the day, the finish line is to get your license and bring in clients. That's it. There's a lot of things that happens in between. And of course, your heart always have to be in the right place. But for people who get into this business, we are already caring people, loving people. So your heart is not the question. Your strategy is in how you're going to proceed, the decisions that you're going to make on a daily basis. And this is why we create community around you. Because when I got into the business, when I tell you, I struggled for a community and I didn't have it and it was difficult to establish, but you don't have to deal with any of that. And I'm always talking about how you deserve to go out and serve your seniors, give them that great quality of life that they deserve with you after they have served society and help us to become who we are today. They deserve to be cared by you. You deserve to make great money caring for them and have the type of lifestyle that you dream of having, and change the generational bloodline of your family if that's what one of your desires are. You deserve all of that. I hope you found this video helpful. There's a free workbook below. You can download it, organize all your thoughts, all the companies that you want to work with, and put any questions that you may have in there. Please consider like, subscribe, share this video with someone that will find it valuable. And also, if you feel called to work with me, there's several ways that you can work with me in the description, including scheduling an appointment to speak with me, and you can get direct strategies on what your goals are and whatever questions that you don't feel comfortable adding to the comment. Until next time, I will see you in the next one. Talk soon.